to QI, where tonight lice, love handles and lingerie are all lumped together. Let's meet the lacy Jimmy Carr, the lusty Ronnie Ancona, the leggy David Mitchell, and the lamentable Alan Davis. Before we even begin with the first question, one of your buzzers has been investigated by the FBI. Let's listen to all of them and see if you can get some early points by guessing which one. Jimmy goes... Ronnie goes...
Lay across my big breast bed.
David goes... And Alan goes... So we got Little Willie Really Won't Go Home. Your song, do you recognise it?
I did. I think I've heard those noises before, but I couldn't put words to it.
You seem to know it. Louis.
Which I think was investigated by the FBI. Because I think they thought it was a drug reference. They couldn't figure out what the song was about.
Worse than... Well, is it worse than drugs? No, it isn't. It's better than... Well, it's sex. Let me just say sex. Was sex better or worse than drugs when it comes to the FBI?
It can be better and worse.
Yeah, you're right.
You know.
Stephen, why can't we do both?
One might assist the other.
What's sex again? Sorry.
So this is the FBI investigated song?
They investigated Louis. You.
Right.
Yeah, it's your song. Because they thought it had very lewd references. We can see what the lyrics actually were. Ah, on that ship, I dream she there. I smell the rose, in her hair.
Filth.
Yes, but that's what the lyric was.
Ban this filth.
What they thought was being sung was, and on that chair, I lay her there, I felt my boner in...
Oh, my God.
The weird thing is...
They wrote a song about my pre-show ritual on it.
The weird thing is, if you listen to it, you can see why they thought that. So they investigated it, played it slowly, and they explained exactly what the lyrics were. It's one of those effects where if you actually look at the right lyrics and hear it back again, it does seem... Oh, yes, I see what the words are.
It says more about them than it does about the artist.
Exactly. You're so right. Well, that's early points, then, for Jimmy Carr, who got that the FBI investigated the lyrics. Points, early doors. Right, let's begin. What did the man who invented the lava lamp do for leisure? There he is.
That's John Malkovich.
It does look a bit like John Malkovich.
Hawaiian shirt.
Was he into women? Was he a lover man?
Well, he was like most of it.
I can't believe I
A
did
lover.
You know you said that out loud.
I know.
You said, was he a lover man out loud just now? They all heard.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, actually, I'm going
Have
to
you got
make
one?
a lava lamp for your edification, pleasure and entertainment. I have here a little tube. This is actually a tube that usually contains tennis balls. And this is a mixture of vegetable oil and water. And I have here a little...
Quite hard to mix,
syringe.
by the way, those two things.
Yeah, they are.
They
Because...
separate, don't they, David?
Yes.
Hello. So you pump the colour in, and I'm going to use Alka-Seltzer, or any effervescent hangover cure pill will do.
Are you going to say don't try this at home?
Well, you can, actually. Honestly, it's not like a Mender. It's not going to explode.
Was this
and
how
cue
they were-
light. Way, there we go. Pop it on, and then as the
it's a beautiful thing.
effervescent works, it begins... Yeah, there we are, beginning to get the effect. And there we are, the colour's now beginning to come into it. And you're getting a sort of lava lamp there, obviously. Professionally, they're made more permanent. A lava lamp, ladies and gentlemen. You've all got the equipment, as it were, so you can make one yourselves.
So exciting.
Aren't you lucky?
Yeah,
Already,
brilliant.
we've begun with the thrilling excitement.
Awesome.
Will
Let's
the
try
show
and
have
get
to
done.
pay something to the format holders of the Generation Games?
I'd like to bend
It is a bit generation game, you're right.
Let's
Put this
just...
in
What do we do
first.
with that?
We
Yeah, go
inject
nuts.
colour in, I think.
Inject colour. You've all got different colours to make it thrilling.
Oh, it's a love.
Don't
Like
put
that.
too much of the
Oh,
effervescent hangover
I
cure.
put all of it
Okay.
Did it? Oh, no.
Slightly
Don't put too many
manic,
pills in.
Sort of,
And now just put a little of the
No,
Yeah,
put
just a
loads
little,
in. It's
just put a
brilliant.
little in, yeah.
Look at your bullshit lava lamp.
Mine is dry.
Your lava lamp is...
hey,
Well,
Steal
it's
another one.
happening.
I
It's all
can feed
happening in
it.
our corner.
You see, when did it explode now, hopefully?
I can. No, you don't.
You're no fun. Stick another one in.
I'm
This
a
house has gone
responsible
mental.
adult. There has to be one on this programme.
Look at all these little balls.
I'm nervous of having them.
Stop saying that.
This genuinely reminds me so much of school. You said, don't put all the Alka-Seltzer in, and then Alan said, we're putting it all in. As a result. And I've gone along with him, and now I'm frightened.
You know the one in trouble.
Sir did it.
You made me
We all do
laugh.
that,
Laughing at my...
You made me laugh, David.
He was laughing at my...
I told you before.
You're in trouble.
It's not funny. There's nothing funny about making people laugh. Hang on, maybe, but oh dear,
Oh,
oh
it's
dear, I've
so
got oily
funny.
hands.
Mitchell's taken the lid off, sir. Mitchell's taken the lid off. It's not serious.
This is most unfortunate.
Are you...
Why
Have
haven't
you
you
just-
put any little balls in yours?
I beg your pardon.
This is not how it was supposed to happen at all.
I love how broad Stephen's humour
Industrial. We all know why Aaron has industrial strength tissues.
You're not supposed to do that.
Right, everybody put their trays away.
You've put sort of gunk all on the eye.
Oh. So, well done with your lava lamps, he said between gritted teeth. The inventor was Edward Craven Walker, who was born in 1918 and died in the year 2000. And I asked you at the very beginning what his other leisure pursuits were. And, well, let me read you what he said about the lava lamp. He said, it starts from nothing, grows possibly a little feminine, then a little bit masculine, then breaks up and has children. It's a sexy thing.
He was having a lava, wasn't he?
He was...
I believe I did that. Just
Don't punish
Don't
yourself.
look at
It's
me
fine.
like that.
Not angry, I'm just disappointed.
He thought it was like he'd made an organism.
A sort of lovely, sexy thing. And he
Yeah.
was that kind of a man, I'm afraid.
Was he
so he was
a
into some-
swinger? Was he one of the
He
swingers?
was
Was he
pretty much a
sort of-
swinger.
Oh, was he?
He was
He
a swinger.
directed nudist films. That was his
Nudist film?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when
He,
you say
he was
did-
a nudist.
His were naturist films, yes, or
the
naturist.
fact that
depending
that
on-
was his hobby, did he not turn a profit on the porn?
It
You know,
wasn't
he had to,
porn.
he had
well,
to subsidise his porn-making habit with his lava lamp business.
the first naturist film that was on public release. That's the
That's
point.
not how you
I
do
don't know how
it.
to do it.
It's not porn. It's about people being naked. And this was a ballet underwater.
Vulcans do it like that.
Do they?
Yes.
Do they? Mind Melvin.
Is that one of his? Is that a still from one
No,
of his?
actually, we've made that up, apparently.
Are those members of the
thinking
production
that it
team?
was-
I don't think they're being paid enough to have to do that.
A couple of our elves
You say the
relaxing.
QI elves. That's not the image that springs into
No.
the...
You think of sun-starved, specky creatures who is...
I don't want to be
All that
unkind, but
blue
yes, I do. Not a male and a female trying to do some sort of scissor sisters act.
So, good, excellent. Now on to lingerie. Whom did your great-great-great-great-grandmother throw her pants at?
Lay, 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 lay.
Cliff Richard.
Yeah, that's good, is that?
Great. How many?
Four greats and a grandmother.
Great.
That's
Grandmother.
Yeah.
So what-
Victorian.
If
Yeah,
that's
early Victorian
Early
era.
Victoria. So didn't they get the celebrities of the time were people who were doing useful things like Isambard, Kingdom Brunel or someone?
No,
No one does suspension like him.
he doesn't.
I love his cantilevers.
I love the fact that your great-grandmother was always old.
Yeah, I don't know why it did that.
Even
I
when
don't
she
know
was
why
throwing
that
her knickers at people,
I
she
don't
was an
know why
old
that. I
lady.
don't know, it's ridiculous. It was a celebrity of the time.
He was a celebrity, and the most famous pan-throwing receptor was Tom Jones, or is Tom Jones, of course, still very much alive and booming.
What do you mean still very much alive? Have you not seen The Voice?
You don't get this phenomenon of like throwing your pants at someone, because at what point do you go out with extra pants? Do you literally go, I've got the car keys, travel card, pants on, pants to throw?
The gesture is meaningless unless they're the pants you were wearing for function. I mean, you just brought a bag of
But what
other
if it's-
pants. It's got the term of abuse.
But what if it's a David Cassidy? What if you've got flares on, David? You're watching a David Cassidy thing, and do you take them off down on leg, or do you take them all off?
We still haven't clearly
Garibaldi.
approached. Not Garibaldi.
So we're talking
See,
about-
you're in the right area with
He was
music.
popular,
Yes, but he
Garibaldi.
wasn't a musician.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, is it composer?
Bourbon, custard cream.
Composer, but a performer, the most extraordinary performer of his day.
Liszt.
Franz Liszt is the right answer. Absolutely. Well done. Woo. We got there. It looks more as if you've been attacked by a swarm of bees, but that is supposed to indicate ladies and their husbands trying to restrain them. These women, some of them fainting, throwing kisses. You can see they're absolutely rapturous. And they were completely astounded by this man, his virtuosity.
Was
Did
he as
have
good
the-
as Liberace?
I knew that what I'm saying.
Look at him, he's livid.
He was an astounding composer as well as a remarkable pianist. And, of course, he was exploiting the new developments in pianos and the arrival of the pianoforte as opposed to the forte piano, which preceded it. And he was remarkable for many other reasons as well. He had affairs with a lot of people, including Lola Montez. Do you know of Lola Montez? An extraordinary Irish woman who'd had an affair with Ludwig of Bavaria and caused a revolution in Bavaria, in fact. There she is. And he then, amazingly, Liszt became an abbot, essentially, a man of the cloth. He was very thin and tall, Charles Halley said. His perfectly lank hair so long that it spreads over his shoulders, which looks very odd. When he gets excited and gesticulates, it falls right over his face, and one sees nothing of his nose. So he was like an old English sheepdog, perhaps, in that sense. He had Olga Janina, who was a former pupil with whom he'd had a fling, who pursued him all over Europe and eventually got so upset and hysterical that she stalked him and tried to stab him and commit suicide. So he really, you know, he was a star. I mean, a real star in the most
It's a very
extraordinary
odd
way.
thing, that. The idea that like, the guy that killed John Lennon was such a huge fan of John Lennon. It's a very weird thing when
Rich
people
man
get
kills
so...
the thing he loves. Let this be known. The brave man does it with a sword, the coward...
How many
you know,
fans have you
etc.
got, Jimmy?
Not enough to be worried. It's a lovely level of fame, a comedian, I think. People come up and tell you jokes all day, which is very pleasant, but no one's ever outside your house going, I made you a cake.
It's always the Daily Mail, Jimmy. They're always outside.
They're happy.
So, yeah, the ladies went loopy for Liszt, the Justin Bieber of his day. That's hardly right. Come on. But, you know...
All right,
he was
Harry
a
Styles.
Great Stop it. He was a genius. Total genius. Who has the world's largest love handles, and what do they use them for?
Eric Pickles.
Oh, dear! You see?
Jimmy, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I've forgotten about that. Blue whale?
Not the blue whale.
Wait, sorry. So it's not the blue whale, but I'm close.
You are.
A barnacle.
Stay with cetaceous creatures. Stay with a mammal.
It's a
that
whale.
lives in
It's
the
a type
sea.
of
It's a whale. It's a whale. And it begins with a B.
Blue whale. Have another look, Steve,
There are
because I'm
other
pretty sure I
kinds.
got it right.
There are other kinds of whale that begin with a B. There's
Bum whale, bull
There's a
whale,
bowhead.
Well,
big whale.
What's the
Big
most
whale.
famous and expensive kind of caviar?
Beluga.
whale.
Beluga whale. Yes. There one is.
Look at it. That was going, hello!
Flying on its side.
Beluga whale in there! Hey! This is all I can do!
He's very chirpy. They have no dorsal fin, and amazing.
I haven't got a dorsal fin! I don't feel the cold. I don't feel it.
They don't because of their blubber.
It's all the blubber.
And they have midriff blubber, which they can
Human
control.
love handles, baby.
They control their love handles with special muscles, so that's how they move around, and that's how they, you know.
That's how I roll.
That's how they roll. Exactly right. Oh, they move up and down with their love handles, and they're hunted by the local Inupiaq people in the Arctic.
I hate that.
You've got a career in animation ahead of you.
So, it's like Richard Attenborough's programmes have been revoiced by South Park.
There is no show that wouldn't be improved by being
It's true. And their fat is called muktuk, and is highly prized by the Inuits and the Inupiaq because it's high in vitamin C, surprisingly.
Oh, look at that. Double chips with that.
There's one in Baltimore. Yeah, the beluga whale. They're full of love handles.
Just by that guy pointing at it in the front there.
Yeah.
Look at that. In case you haven't spied it. There's a whale. The other guy's pointing as well.
Darling, he's
there he is. Spied it. There he is.
Where is it?
You can't see. He's there. He's there. The other guy there. He's there.
Sorry, I don't recognise anything that's not wearing a hat.
Anyway, the beluga whales steady themselves with the world's largest love handles. All that we caught, we left behind, and carry away all that we did not catch. What am I talking about?
Venereal disease. Somewhere along the line, I'm sure.
What I'd already caught, I left behind by giving it to other people.
By breathing it out.
Yeah.
By breathing it out.
Yeah, well, it is a riddle. It was a riddle given to a man of mythic status, so much so we don't even know if he existed, and yet his name is incredibly famous, and there are statues of him, even though we don't know that he existed.
King Arthur.
No, older than that, an oracle, the most famous of the oracles in the Western canon, of Delphi. Yeah, told him that he would die on the island of Ios, and that he should beware the riddles of young children. And this man went round the Greek islands as a minstrel, because that's what he did. He sang poems to a lyre. So they were lyric, but they're known as epic, in fact. And the great epic poems of Greek civilization, the two are Homer. And it's Homer we're thinking of. And Homer supposedly, in this story, went to Ios, where he encountered a group of fisher boys.
He went to Ios, but the guy just said don't go.
I know, but
just
this
fine.
always happens in Greek myth when to do with the Delphi. I mean, think of Oedipus.
Don't listen.
Well,
know.
sometimes the oracle is sort of quite enigmatic
very,
and difficult.
yes.
But if he said, don't go to Ios...
That's really
and he goes, you know...
Anyway, Homer went to Ios, and he encountered a group of fisher boys. He asked them what they'd caught, and they gave him this riddle. And I'll repeat it again. All that we caught, we left behind, and carry away all that we did not catch. And he suddenly remembered Homer. Oh, my God, I shouldn't have asked riddles, and I'm on Ios. And maybe that's the thing about being cursed or having a prophecy, is that you stop concentrating. He slipped, cracked his head, died.
Oh. Should have gone to Argos.
They should have gone to Argos.
Get everything there.
Argos was Jason's ship, of course, wasn't it? Hence the Argonauts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Argos, the chain, they call their staff Argonauts to this day.
Oh, do they?
No.
The solution is lice. Lice, you see. You catch the lice in your hair, you leave them behind.
Yes.
And you carry away those you don't catch because they're stuck in your hair.
The nits.
Yeah, the nits, exactly.
Those are
The
the
nits
worst
themselves.
fishermen ever.
The nits.
So there you are. Now for the riddle of the sphincter that we call general ignorance. Fingers on mushroomoids, please. How many Spartans died at the Battle of Thermopylae?
Oh. This can be 300. Well, I saw a documentary about this,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure it's definitely 300.
The film is called 300.
Is there not a thing that one... Because there weren't just Spartans there.
Sparta!
There were...
That is how it's pronounced.
They weren't just Spartans. There were other, but I think one of the Spartans sound.
There was a
nasty.
narrow coastal pass that was defended just by Spartans, 300 of them, plus their king, played by Gerard Butler, who was
Spartan!
called...
The 301st?
His name was... He was the 301st. Leonidas, if you prefer. But,
He's now got a chain of chocolate shops.
I was brought up to call him Leonidas, but Leonidas
Leonidas.
seems to be the way now. I don't know. Who knows? But Leonidas or Leonidas, thank you. He defended a narrow coastal pass, and so they're 301. Only 299 Spartans died, though, so it leaves 2 who didn't. Leonidas did. 2 survived because they never took part.
Mike and Bernie Winters.
A lot of nudity going on, which was a very Spartan thing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got his sword.
The couple by the tree seemed very fond of each other, one's grasping the nipple of the other. Their swords
to go
casually laid against
so
them.
much effort and not put your pants on.
There's something about one of the ones that they were ashamed. The
They were
two that
desperately
didn't die.
ashamed. One called rather wonderfully Pan-Titties. It's a bit like...
You mean Pantitis?
There was an MP who was introduced to Churchill whose name was Bossum, and Churchill said neither one thing nor the other. But anyway, Pan-Titties or Pant-Titties or whatever he was, Pantites, went off to deliver a diplomatic message, apparently, an embassy, and he hanged himself from shame when he got back and saw that he was the only survivor. In fact, he wasn't the only survivor, because Eurytus couldn't fight because of an eye infection. The Spartans have taken all the credit for the winning of the Battle of Thermopylae, but it was very much a combined effort with the Athenians, who were their allies at the time. Herodotus, known as the father of history, who was born 4 years after the battle, is the closest contemporary source, and he estimated the Greeks numbered about 5,000.
He was born 4 years after it had happened.
Yeah,
and
but he's the
best
closest
we can do.
Yeah, I'm afraid
well,
so.
that's all right then.
No one else wrote.
That's
no one
better
else.
than a lot of ancient history.
The father of history, what's he called?
Herodotus.
Herodotus. Because it must have been a lot easier when he was around. I'm not having a go at him.
No, it's a very fair
But less
point.
things had happened back then.
Fewer things.
Yes.
I think.
Common usage. Play common usage cards.
It's so like being back at school. It's unbelievable.
Apparently you can say less or if you want to now.
Apparently, you can just say what you like these days. Apparently, that's
You can
the new
literally
thing.
say less if you want.
Apparently, you're not allowed to scream idiot at people. What was the point in getting an education at all? I know how to use the apostrophe. Apparently, now it doesn't matter. What I want the time it took me to learn that back.
You need to be less bothered about this, or fewer bothered. You need to be fewer bothered about this kind of thing. Just let it go. Be fewer upset.
Now, what type of birds did the Birdman keep in his cell in Alcatraz?
Is it a canary?
A canary, or canaries.
I can't believe I got a buzzer. I might be close, because last time I said 300, it was 299.
Yeah,
Canary.
Did he keep them in the cell? Did they come to the window? I can't remember the film now. It's Burt Lancaster, wasn't it?
it wasn't allowed, is the right... Well done, audience. Very good.
You weren't allowed birds in your cell, were you? No.
He was in his previous prison, which is why he was called the Birdman. And he ended up in Alcatraz, which is why I suppose he was called the Birdman of Alcatraz. But he was an amazing expert on canaries, so that was his bird of choice. And sparrows. I know, but he didn't keep them in
299, I was
Alcatraz.
one away. Canaries, I said canaries.
And his name...
What do you want from me?
Do you know his name? Robert Franklin Stroud. And he was moved to the Great Rock, as they call it, from which no one escapes. According to Patrick McGowan.
Rock.
Yes.
I think Sean Connery got out, yeah.
Patrick McGowan.
Rock.
Yes.
Welcome to the rock. One more time, we'll go again. Welcome to the rock.
So kind. And we can have a look at Alcatraz. That's the inside. You can do a tour of it.
I've done a tour of it.
Have you?
It's great. I liked it a lot, but they used to put people in the cells. All the cell doors, they can open them from one end or they slide because they don't have doors that open.
Yes, that's right.
They put prisoners in them, tourists, I mean, in them, and then one day they couldn't get them out. So they had some tourists in there for 10 hours, and lots of other tourists coming past. Who all suddenly were on much better behaviour.
They didn't buy anything from the gift shop.
You can see it very clearly from San Francisco. It looks so near, and it was quite easy to escape from your jail and swim, but nobody survived the swim, even though it seems quite a short distance, because
really
the
does.
currents are so strong.
Right.
It's swept away. And Alcatraz, of course, is a word of what origin, would you imagine?
Mexican.
Well,
Imagine.
Spanish language, yes, indeed. And a lot of the Spanish words come from...
Spain.
Owl. It begins with owl, so like Alhambra and...
the Moors.
The Moors. It's an Arabic word, from Arabic. Now, who was the first person to put stuff between two slices of bread and eat it?
Lay.
Lord Sandwich.
Oh, what a shame. What a pity.
I
You were
knew
doing
that.
so well.
Doing that.
The Earl of Sandwich certainly gave his name to what we call the sarnie or the sandwich or the butty, all kinds of words for it. But
Was it the Earl of Butty?
we know that mankind has been making bread for 30,000 years, and it seems inconceivable that no human being decided to put something between two of those.
So we're just assuming it just must have been ages ago. Someone
Well,
must
yes,
have done it
we
ages
do
ago.
know for a fact that 1,200 years ago there was a Hillel the Elder, a rabbi in the 1st century BC, first person known to have made and eaten a sandwich. He started the Passover custom, putting a mixture of chopped nuts, apples, spices and wine between two flatbreads.
That's a Peshwari naan.
It's,
Oh, no, you said
One
Peshwari.
right now, wouldn't you?
We're just mopping up the end.
Just out the bag when it comes. Oh, with all the almonds and the coconut in it.
We put in a good shift, shall we?
Stop it, I'm drooling. Stop it.
I prefer a plain naan.
Oh, what's the matter with you?
You got a badge
Always
for that,
one,
have you?
isn't there? At every
Really?
Oh,
badge,
you wouldn't have a
fucking
plain
plain
bit of
naan.
bread, would
So
you?
we'll have 5 Peshwari naans and one for him. So anyway, John Montagu was the 4th Earl of Sandwich. Certainly gave his name to it in our culture, as it were. In our
He's on Gogglebox now, the sandwich.
Is he? And the idea was that he just called for it because he was very busy. Most people think gambling, because he was an inveterate gambler, though his biographer says actually he was very busy with his ministerial work. He was Postmaster General, he was First Lord of the Admiralty.
Never mind all that. When he got together with Mr. Branston.
Magic.
When they got together, it was Moida.
So anyway, that's the last of the questions. Let's see who's Victor Ludorum. Oh, my actual God. Sorry to say, in last place with -29 is the girl of many faces and voices,
Stop
Ronnie
that.
Ancona.
Can't be.
And third place with -11 is Jimmy Carr.
Perfectly acceptable. -7 is fine. Fine.
In second place with -7, it's David Mitchell. Can I be uttering these words with a plus score? 3 points, Alan Davis! All from Ronnie, Jimmy, David, Alan and me. And I leave you with the last words of Nancy Lady Astor. Waking up to find her bed surrounded by her entire family as she was dying, she said, "Am I dying? Or is it my birthday? Good night."